Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely a change. It's,
Yeah. Well, good. Good
I
for
mean,
you.
not easy,
Yeah.
but it's also rewarding. So,
I was watching. They was talking to dude Tom Holland who plays Spider-Man or whatever. And he was like, because he quit drinking or whatever. He's like, I went for a month and I was like, damn, that was hard. Maybe I have a problem, and I'm gonna go for 2 months. He said, damn, that was still hard. And he said after 6 months, then he went 6 months and he was like, damn. Then I felt better, and I was like, okay, I can roll with this. But yeah, it's not freaking easy.
It's a journey for sure.
honestly, the hardest point was the first, say, week. I still think about it, but it's not. Can't really say I miss it. Like it's not like a miss thing, but just a lifestyle change. Is just that's the hard part, I'd say.
That's what it is. Anything you do or have done, or it's connected to like habits and regular shit you do on a regular basis. It's uncomfortable to do it without it. Like, I remember the first time I quit and did music, I was like, I can't even write anymore. I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can make music anymore.
Honestly, that's how I've been kind
This is
of.
fucking freaking me out. Like, yeah, that's so.
It's kind of how I've been feeling. Cause I've told you a lot of things. The TV show I'm trying to write music.
You're kind of putting the glass in front of the camera. I don't know if that's your vibe.
Check.
Shit.
Okay, we don't need that. We're just gonna do straight up recording and then we'll go back and make it pretty or something or another. Hopefully this guy, let's give it a name before we go off into la la land.
Oh, what church did you say you're going to?
Oh, it's called Restoration Covenant.
And is that here in Arvada?
It's right over here off 68th and like a couple blocks from Wadsworth.
Oh, okay.
This side of Wadsworth is 6725 or something. Yeah, but it's Restoration Covenant. I'll give you stuff.
What kind of church are they?
Non-denominational. I mean, it's covenant based, which covenant is it's a Christian, and covenant's just their kind of government of rules. Like it's like how they feel about certain stuff, you know, and things. But it's basically like Christians. My pastor is what's kind of dope though, cause he's respectful. Like he listens and references a lot. He's a big studier. So he references a lot of even secular stuff or sometimes Catholicism and a lot of Judaism and things that are connected to Christianity that people avoid.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he goes about the history, you know what I mean? He's like, you should know the language of the time and who it was written to, you know what I mean? Like everybody wants to, he's like, you don't understand when they were talking to the Judeans, what had happened around that time was this, that, and the third. What this word pistos means in Greek around that time actually means you owe somebody a favor. So yes, it does mean that when you say I'm gonna owe you one, you really do mean that. It's not an accidental favor because it says right here like this, like that.
That's
you know what I mean? Which is
also why we got the New Testament too.
yeah, and that's what's exactly, and that's what he goes back and forth, and he's like, so when you misread things, this is why people misread things. This is how it is. This is what I struggle with, and it's cool.
One thing that definitely helps because. It's still to say I'm not really a church goer. My brother's been like, "Oh, you gotta go, but it's like, because the churches he's taking me to, it's like these guys tell you money doesn't matter, and then pull up in a Bentley. Like,
oh, you're right.
You know, I'm good.
That's kind of because we went to Red Rocks when my wife and I, when we were married and had my son, we moved up here. Yeah, we went there, and it's huge, and and I don't mind music and stuff, but it was too big even for me.
Right.
Oh shit.
That and all the speakers they have in there, it's like, that's crazy.
But that's how we found this place, was across the street at the Arvada Center right there. This used to be a set-up and tear-down church. And we just walked over there with the baby one day and checked it out and never left.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been there 6 years now, and I'm like you. I wasn't really into it. You know, I've been through drinking and jobs and divorce and jail, calling my pastors from jail, like, you know what I mean, like real life with these people, all these yuppie ass suburban people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they got my back, you know what I'm saying? These are my folks. My wife's gone, everybody else is gone, my people are in Denver, like, but these are my dogs, and that's, you know, that's why I love them. They're different. A lot of them I don't agree with on certain stuff, but they're the best humans I know close by. I appreciate them. And that helps a lot of times, especially when people are, when you're like, man, you're really a pain in my ass. But like my best friend's this 80-year-old white dude, and he's like mean. And he's like, you know, I'm kind of mean. And he's like, I'm like you. Like, you're an asshole, Brandon. That's why I like you. But you need to work on that. It's like, sometimes I say stuff to my wife and it's not nice, and it's like the things that you do and the things you say and blah, 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 blah. And nah. I used to like my Voodoo Ranger too, and like, well, these talks. Like, he was the first person to befriend me, have my back, you know, let me sleep in his basement if I had to. Like,
oh, that's cool.
Voodoo Ranger. I tried one of those, man. We went to her coworkers. It was one of their kids' birthday, and someone brought the Voodoo Rangers, and I was like, "What percentage is this?" I'm like, 7, something like that. And like, it was like the 12 ounce, like the Dr Pepper can. I'm like, damn, 7? How am I feeling this off of 7? And look, it's like 9 point something. I'm like, oh
yeah, that's why.
shit, I'm here on the bike too.
Yeah, those suckers. I'm like, this headphone is being silly. Maybe I'm gonna get my cheap pair.
Yeah.
You guys are the bomb. I'm glad we can talk and be patient.
It's all good.
Speaking of, I have a little to-go set up. Cases of gone those already.
Well, at least you're prepared, right?
I'm trying to be like, for all the stuff I don't know, I'm trying to at least be as best, like, make it as seamless as possible.
As far as this goes, I'm still learning too.
Because I'm gonna make mistakes.
For sure.
So I try to cut out, have as much ready as I can, so that when I screw up, at least I'm a little ahead of the game.
That's why I feel like video itself is a lot easier. Because if you're out fishing or riding bikes, who cares about the audio? Cut it on mute and put music on.
Right, just look.
Yeah, that's dope. Alright, let's see how that works. Hopefully that's not much better. Check. That sounds worse almost, huh?
Yeah, I'm getting some feedback from somewhere.
Check.
Check. Sound good?
I mean, I'm still getting the feedback a little bit, but
I don't know
I just
why.
have to. It's right here. It's because of the connection, I think, because I'm using this adapter. So I think it's coming from one of these. But it's talking, and we can mess with it, so I think we're all right.
Hello?
Check. All right, we're gonna make this shit up as we go, because this is the most interesting, informative, and funny podcast ever.
I was gonna say it's also funny we talked about the poodle doing karaoke because I forgot I was wearing the shirt.
You are wearing this shirt.
What does it say?
The Brutal Poodle, the name of the bar.
Brutal Poodle. All right.
It's off of Broadway, Broadway and Evans.
Okay, I know right there. Burger King. No, that's no.
By
Good times.
Okay, yep.
Good Times, yeah.
I used to live on Wesley, which is like a block up from there,
Oh, okay.
right there by DU.
It's actually the same parking lot as the little weed shop up there.
Nice.
Can't remember what it's called.
Check.
Hello?
Check. Can you hear?
Yeah.
All right. Check. Talk.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, we'll see how it is. Oh, go for it. All right. Question, Brandon, where would we be right now if we were in your script? You would have gone through blah, 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 a couple of blah, blahs.
Yeah.
Oh, has that
Some
been
more.
recording? Oh my God.
It's been
going.
recording. That's been recording too.
Oh, shit. All right, what's up? All right then. Well,
I just want to kind of set that up so you can actually see.
well,
kind
you're
of a
welcome.
vlogging
I hope I
setup,
didn't
you
say
know?
anything. I really didn't know. All right.
But yeah, I can,
fuck it, we gotta record everything, man. Where would we be right now? We would be after my dear dream guest, and I would be thinking.
It'd be thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the spike right there.
Check. It's gotta be this. Yeah, so I would be stressing about. I might not even wear that. I would be, as long as we can see it. That's pissing me off.
Yeah.
And then we'll listen to it a part way through and make sure that it doesn't sound too stupid. Like bad. Actually,
I'm wondering if it's a soldering thing in the. How does it sound when you plug in just your actual
it's fine.
headphones?
Yeah, like if we just do the headphones alone, I think. Because it's right here, because this usually screws in.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
you know what?
If you just want to throw on your regular headphones.
Because I've got all kinds of shit. I told you, I don't know what I don't know. I think I have another one of these guys.
Dude, you got everything.
So prepared. This is crazy.
Yeah, like I have everything. I just don't know how to fucking
But at least you have it, right? I don't know.
It's half the battle. Like I'm just a voice. Like I'm telling you, like I'm an artist. So like I know I'm a writer. Like I can do all that shit
Right.
in 5 minutes, easy. That's my shit. You know what I mean? Let's bust a rap. Let's write a fucking story or a
Something,
book.
yeah.
Right.
Cool.
I'm there.
But make the ink, get the book, do the stuff, produce the thing.
That's
Nope.
the hard part.
It's really hard. Okay, so straight in like that. Check. You still hear it some. But yeah, if you just go straight in. Check. It's better though, huh? Check.
Yeah, it's definitely still there.
Check. Yeah. Alright, yeah, it sounds like
I mean,
it's still there.
I'm not super picky, so if you just want to
If I just plug mine in.
plug yours in, because I don't really need to hear myself
And you
twice.
can just tell me how. I'll tell you how wonderful you sound. Check.
Check.
Check your motherfucking self.
Hola, Brandon, can you hear me?
¿Cómo estás? Muy bonito estar. ¿Qué tal?
I'm lost, Tyler. Help me out.
I'll tell you that
She's
shit.
a Spanish speaker.
Oh yeah?
Don't say that.
Cool. Hey, my ex-wife spoke Spanish and Arabic.
Oh,
Dang,
wow.
that's the most random group of things that a human can possibly do.
It's true.
Check. So, yeah, I'm still hearing it a little bit, but screw it. We're just gonna go. All right, and then I want to hear what it sounds like. So let's just talk for a minute. Hey, what's up, dog? How you doing?
Shit, I'm out here killing it every day.
Boom. I'll check it out.
Is it just this mic, or
Hold up. All right.
are you talking to like this?
It's in there. It's got you. Either way, it's fine. Cause I can go in here and like I can grab that
edit it,
and then affect it and amplify it and turn it up.
I still need to learn this shit.
You know, so don't trip. We are all gravy. All right.
Too much stuff I need to record and not enough knowledge right now.
Yeah. So. Welcome. We have, in the meantime, in between time, another special guest. This fella is actually someone that I have intended to have on the show for almost 2 years now. As an electrician, as a tradesman, I met so many interesting and quality humans. Not only were they quality humans, but it would be people that are talented in so many different ways. This fella was not only an electrician, but he showed me these videos, and I thought they were made by someone else. He's got these cars doing donuts in the sand and all this wild shit going on. And he tells me that he's the one that actually ends up making the videos, and he flies these drones around, and it's something I never heard of. So I was immediately interested, and like I tell you, I think it's lightning in a bottle. Anytime you speak with somebody and you can get them excited about a subject, I knew immediately that electrician was not the thing that he was going to be excited about. I knew he was way more excited about making content. I knew he was way much more excited about creating something for people and showing it to people like me. And that made me excited to tell him about this thing. Before this podcast was a thing, me and Michael had this intention, and now it's here. I want to introduce you to drone pilot and videographer Mike Drone. Or I'm sorry, I'll cut that. Michael, you want to go? You want Mike?
You can use whatever
Mike
you
O?
want, man.
Michael. What's up, Michael? Welcome to the hut.
What's going on, Brandon? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Would you do me one favor? There's 2 pieces of paper right there.
Yes.
Dope. Because I forgot my questions. Alright. So, as I was kind of saying, we met on a job site. Both as electricians. I think I may have been a journeyman at the time. I'm not sure. How long were you an electrician by then?
I think it was 3rd year. It wasn't really exciting, so just glad those days are behind me now.
Alright. What was it about being an electrician that wasn't terribly exciting?
At that point we were out in the cold, way out east. I live in Lakewood, so going out to Aurora was just a far drive.
A little closer.
A little closer. Yeah, far drive, from Lakewood, then going out in the cold and being yelled at by a foreman, or actually, they weren't even on the job site, just that one asshole that I ended up yelling at the day I got fired. So that was kind of like my final push from electrical, because trying to be better, but gotta let it out. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Amen to that.
But moved on. So
was that the last electrical job you did? Was that one?
That was the last electrical job. Yep.
Good
Piper was kind of. Yeah, probably want to cut that out. I won't throw out any names, but
yeah.
That's gonna be the last. That was the last experience. If I absolutely have to, I'll go back. But there's just a lot of factors going to it. Being yelled at by a foreman. In California, I went to school for it, and it doesn't count out here, so I have to go to school again. It's just, if I'm going to go to school, it's going to be something different.
Fair enough. For those of you that don't know, in the state where we're at, being an electrician requires 4 years of school. It's 1 day a week, as well as on-the-job training. So you do a 40-hour work week, plus you have 1 day a week that you go to school. That's the demand that he's talking about, and it's cool and it's worth it and it's a good trade. And I won't say that it didn't do a lot for me. But I also got out of it for similar reasons. Like, there didn't seem to be a craftsmanship aspect to it. When I first started, even though it was only like 4 or 5 years before you, guys wanted to train each other. Like, the guys before me were like, hey, I'm training my replacement. I want him to be better. And then, like, all of a sudden overnight, they had these guys coming in that had zero interest in the trade. They just heard 25 miles an hour or something. And you had the guys managing them that didn't even care to teach them or make them better or anything. Right. And then you just had like a whole bunch of people that didn't give a shit on a job site, blaming guys like you and me.
Yep. See, another thing that made me step away was there's no loyalty in the trades anymore. You go work for this company, as soon as this job's over, we don't need you anymore, see ya. And then you're stuck finding another job. And sometimes it slows down, so there's a lot of inconsistency. I spent a lot more time at a temp agency rather than an actual company, so it's just that kind of inconsistency in some places. And then whenever I was getting jobs, it was like Wyoming or Maine or somewhere far.
That sucks. Have you traveled for work before?
Farthest was Avon, and I think that's 2 or 3 hour drive, and just being away from home, just not happening. And I think that by that point I was engaged, I believe. Yeah, I was engaged, and then had my brother out here with us. Then he got, shortly after that, he got a motorcycle wreck. So it was just all a mess. And I don't want to travel for work. The home is my comfort zone. I'll go out and hang out with people, local places. But as far as like even going back to California to see my family, by the end of the 4th day, I'm ready to be home.
Right. Yeah, I'm a homebody myself. Like, I always need to be outside, but I have to be close enough to get to the house.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even with nature and things like I'm trying to reach out and be a little more naturey, but it's really difficult for me to get out there and be away from certain comforts, I guess you'd say.
That's camping would be about the only thing I could tolerate long term. You're out away from everybody. It's peaceful. You're out fishing. There's no. I mean, some campgrounds you do get the asshole campers, but that's everywhere. They're blasting music, but for the most part, it's nice and silent. You have the nice campfire, cooked food. You're fishing. If I'm away from home, I'd rather be camping.
And while you're camping and cooking food and fishing, like, I'm blasting music over there on the other side of the thing while you're yelling at me.
I'm trying to fish over here.
What the hell? Don't you know I'm trying to relax over here? No, but we'd rather be fishing. We'd rather almost do anything than, not to rag on the trade as a whole. It's good. It got me out of a bad situation. It saved my life, if I'm honest. But I think both MikeO and I are past that now.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
can say, fuck that job.
It's definitely a lifestyle. If you want to do it, you can do it. But I like the idea of making money quick, so that's why I want to step away from it. You meet a lot of cool people, like meeting Brandon here, but I just have different ideas of where I want to be at in life, and life moves too quick to take that long to move up.
And it's kind of a trip just having, like, you strike me as the type of person that has a quick wit, like a lot of ideas that, I don't know if you're like me, like when I have an idea, like I feel like I carry these around because I have to write it down. Like if I don't get it out of my mind, I'm tripping, like, or I feel like I'm gonna miss it.
I do have those. Yep, I've got separate notebooks for separate things. I've got one with my business ideas, one with my TV show ideas, one for music, and then one for just to have around.
Yeah, and on a job site or when you're doing 40 hours, you're given, we spend, between sleep and work, we probably spend the majority of our life in one of those two positions.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're doing that, and then you got dreamers like myself or people like you that, got big ideas, it's hard to put those people in a bottle and tell them, hey, show up 40 hours a week, do this, I'll pay you a lot of money. But it doesn't seem rewarding when you got things in the back of your head that are exciting to you.
Right. Yeah. So to me, the biggest things I aspire for would be, for one, writing my own paychecks.
Right.
I don't want someone else signing off on my paychecks.
Right.
Because then they have control over your life, insubordination, stuff like that. I'm getting a lot better about my anger issues, but I'm also still very responsive and very impulsive, and sometimes I will react without ration. So being able to sign my own check, but also I don't want to show up somewhere every day where I'm unhappy and go home and be unhappy, then have to make her unhappy because I'm pissed off. That's all I can think about, which really trying to work on, trying to come more into religion. I feel like I've done better. She's the judge of that because she lives with me, but it's just those things that really get under your skin. I know I can be so much more, and there's so many things I want to do, and then focusing at this job that I hate really ruins my creativity.
It does. There's a muse in life, and when you're going through hard things, it fucks with that muse. You know what I mean? Like, very similar. Like, I still get pissed because I have a similar thing. You know what I mean? Like, I got a pretty short, not necessarily temper. I just don't tolerate nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, and I actually spoke about this, so if you hear it on one of the podcasts, I talked to him yesterday and I was telling him about you. I said, he's this cool cat, but you can clearly tell immediately when you meet him, like, if you're full of shit or you're nonsense, like, he's not fucking with you. You know what I mean? It's not that he's a mean person, it's just that he clearly has a don't fuck with me or lie to me vibe.
Yeah, I really want to overcome that because it's not worth being unhappy. And, even video games, repetition in a bad way just pisses me off. So, like, if I'm playing Call of Duty or Apex with the boys, I've been trying to, like, steer away. If I get angry, I try to shut it off as soon as I do. Because, like, now, like I was telling you about the vocals, I can't fully do it right now because I'm all torn up. So I'm trying to step away from that. I've got my boys on a game called Warframe. Mellow game, but it's something because they're all in California, so I can't see them every day. So it's something I can get on and relax
you
with.
Can play with your boys out of state still? That's dope. Yeah.
So, just, it's a hard step finding ways to get around anger. Shutting the game off. It's like, no, I'm losing. I'm going to get this guy back. And then he gets me. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to get off the game.
And it's not a bad thing. I don't want you to think it's a bad thing. Like, what I say is, but because I have a similar thing. I think it's an aura. I think there's humans that, like, I see people. When I meet a person, I can kind of get a beat on them. And I think they feel that. And I think they're like, wow, this guy kind of like sees what I can't get the same jive across on him as I can, so they feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing because it does keep a lot of the nonsense away from you. And it's not being mean. And now I've gotten to the point where it's not really being mean. It's like, I still don't really suffer the nonsense, but whether they're reacting or saying it every time, it's more like, all right, you got that. I need to separate myself more often. And that's where the business thing does help. You know what I mean? I clean and I can be in somebody's house or in a building alone, or make your own hours and do things like that. But on the other hand, you're struggling for money and you gotta, be the one to hustle up the next dollar and things like that. But it's really nice to get up and kind of write down and figure out your own day and figure out what you're gonna do. You might be struggling for the money at the end of the month, but at the same time, when you do get that next contract or that next thing, you're super proud of yourself. You're not catching something off of somebody else's tree on a job site, as an underling to the guy who's managing the dude who actually got the contract for the guy who owns the company that actually makes money.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I want to ask, do you feel like I've been less angry, Tyler?
Yeah.
Overall? Yeah. But a lot of that was coming back into religion. I feel like that brings a lot more peace than anything. Obviously, quitting drinking helps a lot because you're not the same person when you're intoxicated. But at that last company we were at, the day I got let go, well, I guess 2 days before I got let go, because I skipped work the next day and then went to the office. But the dude that was there as the lead, I blew up on his ass. I yelled at that fool and everything. And I was like, this company's full of rat-faced bitches. Obviously not talking about you because you're like the only cool one. You and Dylan. Fuck, I keep adding names. I'm not going to say the name of the dude I talk shit to, but I blew up on his ass. I was, oh, you're a fucking bitch and all this and that. Like, I was angry at that point in my life, very angry. And when I went into the office, I got fired. I blew up on them too. When I left, I told the PM of that project, if you can't let an employee stand up for yourself, you're a coward and a tyrant. And he's like, go home. I'm like, see, you're a coward and a tyrant. Pissed him off. He did not like that, but it's true. I don't think insubordination should be really a big factor into employment because I'm a grown man, you're a grown man. You've got experience, that's what you've got. But you can still come and talk to me like a reasonable human being. That's like going to a restaurant treating the staff like shit. It's not cool.
Yeah, there's a way to go about it. There's a way to treat people. And that was the thing I had because because as a journeyman, you're not the boss, but you know a little more. You've done it for a little longer and you know a little more, so they put you management over maybe a few people or something. But then you have to report back to him, probably that guy you're talking about. And he's holding me responsible for these guys. And as a journeyman, in my opinion, your responsibility is to the crew, to the men, and to be kind of the go-between between them and the PM and the foreman. The foreman doesn't want to be the guy that's out there yelling at the crew. He wants to have an intermediary that they like enough that he can tell them things to do without having to be responsible for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's my job until you try to say, hey, you got to go over there and treat these guys like shit, or they're not getting it done in this time. And I'm like, well, you're not equipping us with the materials or with the time or with the things that we need in order to make them successful. So why would I be hollering at these guys if you're not giving me what I need in order to make them successful? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then the big problem over at that company was the whole too many chiefs, not enough Indians as well. That was one big thing. But also chain of command too. Like you were just saying, if I was an owner of a Fortune 500 company, I'd want all my employees to know me in a good. Like I don't want to just see them as numbers. Like they're all people. They have lives. Sure, I get angry sometimes, but the way these foremen and shit will go out on their job sites and they just start yelling at you and tearing you down in front of the guys. Why? What does that do? That's just going to give you bad quality work for one. And honestly, even on her stepdad, which is like one of the favorite people that I've worked with, I've walked out on him for yelling at me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going home. Which obviously he knows where I live because, we're kind of all intermingled. So if you want to pull up, you're like, what the fuck? Then, there's
to your
that.
point, though, there should be you should be able to maybe not be totally insubordinate, but you should be able to speak your mind. Like you should be able to disagree with your whatever, your boss or whatever, and at least bring it to his attention without him jumping down your throat or expecting a happy cent.
Like I could totally understand if it's like, no, I don't want to do that, so give me something else. Then I could see it. But if it's like you come up yelling at me, I'm like, you're not talking that. That there's that one dude, that bigger guy that was on the job with this heavyset guy, not superintendent, but the other one. But he yelled at me. I'm like, hey, no, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. Like, you watch that.
Right.
And he apologized, but as soon as I leave, you know what he does? If I was the PM here, I'd be firing someone. You're full of shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna get back on the good stuff.
Yeah.
So the reason that we both left is because we got these similar ideas. Remember, videographer, Joan Pilot, dope ass human. This guy right here. So we're gonna get more on that subject. How long have you been doing the? What would you say is it content creation, video? What would you call it that you mainly focus on when it comes to the media space?
Main thing
You're
I
a drone
focus on,
pilot.
yeah.
You fly, and you concentrate on the videos a lot.
Obviously, visual's the biggest thing when it comes to video. You want quality products, you know. If you want to get your kids a drone, whatever, get one of those little like what are they called, Snapton or something like that. A lot cheaper. They're still decent quality, but I want to put out quality creations because I want to be a quality person. If you're interested in something enough, you want to invest in it the right way instead of just throwing whatever you got out there and calling that good. I want to actually give something that I care about 100%, looks good, sounds good, feels good, is engaging. So that's kind of like even music stuff, because I want to start writing music. You know, I have the Scarlett interface too, as you got right here. And I might invest in a better mic in the long run, because that's one thing, you know, that the music stuff does get expensive. But you want quality products for your quality content.
Right. When you're capturing stuff like the donuts that you showed me and different things like that, like it's fast paced and it's twisted and it's going all over the place. Like, how do you capture something that's in motion like that and make it not look like shit?
Video games. That's the honest answer. Lots of video games I've been playing since I was a kid. Yeah, and when you get familiar with the joystick, obviously there's still a learning curve because the layout's different and the joysticks do different things. But overall, having the muscle memory in your thumbs already built up from years of playing games helps a lot. And that video was shot. I'm still say I'm new at the drone stuff because I haven't done it in a while. But having that background playing video games, and especially stuff like Call of Duty, where you.
What's the remote look like? Do you have the remote?
Yeah, it's in the backpack. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to that. We're taking.
So, the honest answer would be just years of video games.
Yeah.
Kind of give you that agility with the drone. And there's guys who are way better than I am.
Dexterity.
Yeah.
Dexterity, for you ones that don't know big words. Dexterity, that means stuff moves good sometimes. Kind of. You ride bikes also, don't you?
Yeah, sold mine, but we still have hers, so I can still ride if I want, but just not the same using someone else's, which my name's on the title too, but.
So this is what we got here. So it looks like a Nintendo kind of.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what remote looks similar to this?
Nintendo would be your closest.
Nintendo?
Like a little Switch almost.
Yeah. Okay.
So then push once, then hold.
Alright.
It's not going to really show you much right now because the drone's off, but you've got your settings. It'll show you like a...
I was going to make a really bad joke right now.
Go for it.
But another bad story. Oh, I have the remote. Okay, that's T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
There we go. What do I need?
Oh, wow.
I don't have to log in again.
So that's dope.
So you got all your settings here, and that nickname I told you. Well, the MikeO comes from when I'm a twin, so we grew up and we couldn't, you know, kids can't say each other's names. So my brother would call me MikeO.
MikeO?
So I kind of just, when I got older, I made that my Instagram account, so I stuck with it.
What is it, MikeO or MikeO?
MikeO, MikeO.
Oh, MikeO.
So I just kind of made it drone MikeO for this, but you've got like a profile, you can find the drones off right now, so it's not gonna do anything, but you can make it flash and be.
Speaking of that, when it comes to, are there anywhere that you have any information or content or any place that you would like people to be able to search, like to find any content of yours? Anywhere to direct people?
There's not any new content posted, but if you want, my Instagram is MikeO489, and my TikTok, I'm gonna have to look.
Because we're here to rep. And we just want to make sure everybody gets their proper
And then
information.
TikTok is the same thing, but there's another 9. MikeO 4899.
And I'm gonna get in the habit of trying to get some of this stuff on here too. So X, Instagram, Facebook, Brandon Bourne at Message My Hub. Any variation of that, you'll be able to find it.
I do have, well, I still call it Twitter because I can't change, you know.
Yeah, change sucks.
It's not in my nature, so I still call it Twitter. I have Twitter, but I don't have really anything uploaded yet. A little bit of reposts, but if I do start being active on that, it's probably going to be music.
Okay.
If you're a metalhead, that's the place to go. But I can't remember what my handle is. Right, I think it's the OG Nutchucks. There's a story behind that, but I want to say that's what my handle is.
Well, Mr. Nutchucks, feel free to tell.
So, the Nutchucks, which she's not a fan of this friend in particular, but he can be an alright guy. I was over at his house one night, and it's Bakersfield winter, so it's not as bad as out here in Colorado, but still, for me at that time, I haven't experienced anything else, so it was cold for me. And for whatever reason, he wanted to try to slap me in the knee, but got me about mid-thigh right in the testicles as well. And he's like, I didn't know your balls were that low. So he's like, we're going to call you Nutchucks.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, I've got nunchucks on the wall. Right there. I can wield them.
Painful experience. Wouldn't recommend.
So speaking of nut experiences, 4th grade. I don't know how old you guys are, but the 80s and the 90s, everybody, guys and girls, had these patent leather shoes, and a lot of them had these metal tips. This is like Kid and Play, KRS-One days when people had dance troops and shit.
Lawn darts?
This little girl, I'm in 5th grade, and we played tetherball, and I'm smacking the tetherball with this other kid, and it flies around, and this girl's walking by, and boom, it slaps her right in the face. And I feel bad, her whole side of the face is all red and this and that. This little girl walks up to me, looks me dead in my face with those patent leather shoes, and kicks me dead in my nuts. She lifted me about 2 inches off of the ground. We had a mediation after school. Like, they set us down in a class with these 2 teachers and were like, you guys need to work that out, because it was hilarious. But yes, I feel it's a painful situation.
I bet your voice could shatter glass after that, huh?
I mean, I think I'd probably be a bass right now if that hadn't happened in my life. Have you ever had to film, like, use your drone or fly in bad weather, like snow or anything?
No, this one isn't water resistant, so I try to avoid it. I sent one drone out into, what was that, Sloan's? No, that was Lake Arbor. So it's still sitting in the water. I'd like to retrieve it eventually, but for now it's sitting in the water. So not water friendly. Keep it out of the water. There are drones that are, but I haven't used them, so I don't know anything about them. So I try to keep it on. If I can do it on cloudy days, but it kind of meshes the colors together, makes it kind of gray overall. So I like the bright sunshine-filled days where I have vibrant greens and blues.
The colors are not. Yeah, I guess that makes sense with video, but you can probably. Yeah.
Well, there was that one I showed. It was cloudy that day, but the snow that I showed you, how crystal clear it looked like you could see each individual crystal of the snow. But overall, snowing and rain, keep it out.
Right. And that's funny that you talk about having to retrieve it, because I'm working on a segment called Midlife Crisis My Ass. So the idea of Midlife Crisis My Ass is that me and anybody who's willing to be down with it, like you, Michael, would get together and try new things. It could be anything, like me sitting over here plucking on this guitar. It could be, I've got a cousin who married a skydiving instructor, so I'm trying to get together with him and see if I can work it out and get a trip together where a few of us go and skydive or something like that, and just, try out new things. So I'm thinking, now that you just mentioned that, I'm thinking scuba diving should be on the list. Scuba diving at Sloan's Lake.
Honestly, it sounds like a fun scuba diving. I'd take that over skydiving for sure. But yeah, it sounds fun though. I mean, you'd think I'd at least tried it once in my life, living in California for 23 years of my life. So you would think I would have at least tried it, but haven't. I've never even been on a boat other than Lake Lopez, which That's pretty cool. But I've never been deep sea. So I feel
What
like
are
I
you
might
doing
try.
in California?
Who
Rock it
knows?
out.
Yeah, who knows at that point?
That's dope. Do they run out on time limits or something? Because yesterday his went 28 minutes.
The GoPro, I guess she says it's overheating.
He would go 25 minutes and then he would stop it or something.
I think it's hot. It feels really hot.
Probably overheated, but it just showed it had a lot of battery life, so maybe you should let it cool off.
Shine
Oh
bright
yeah,
like a
because it's too
diamond.
hot.
Yeah, it's too hot, she says. But it's got the medium mod on it, so it's got a bunch of accessories going into it, so I kind of get it. You think GoPro would get a little more figured out? Love you, GoPro. Don't come after me.
Right,
But
right.
you think
Well,
you'd have
speaking
something?
of, since the camera wants to take a break, this is probably a good time for us to do the same. This is the portion of the show where my guest takes the reins and actually chooses how we spend the next few minutes. I like to call this segment of the show Free Time. You got options of either doing a freestyle rap or a poem, of which we'll have to make up a random topic. We come up with the topic first, and then you get the opportunity to make it up. 2, we can come up with a skit, something along the lines of whose line is it anyway. We'd also come up with a topic and make something up. Or we've got what I'm adding is kind of a dealer's choice. So this is where people that might not want to do any of the other ones, if you've got a better idea, I am fully participatory and I will participate no matter what you choose.
See, it's funny you say that because I was going to say I'd rather go for like a dealer's choice because there's just too many avenues to explore. There's lots of fascinating things, cameras, music, podcasts. I've been wanting to do my own, but haven't gotten around to it. So it's really just whatever you want to
There we
pick.
go. And I think since we've got my man here, we're just going to break for a minute. We're going to find something to get together, and we might just give y'all some special video content. I don't know. So, back in a flash. Thank you for tuning in, and look forward to another half with my man here, Michael Jones. Or fucking dude. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with his name. Just call him Michael. MikeO. Mike, Daddy-O.
Yeah, Mike Daddy-O. There we go. That's the one.
You know, that's the sticker. That's the keeper. Mike Daddy-O. All right. Bet.
Let me get the shit out. I don't want to break it.
Yeah, that was fun enough.
Man.
We can go record stuff or jump in. Thanks for
Shit.
hanging in too, cause
It's hot.
It's not that.
Is it tight? Do you
There we
want-
go.
what does it do? Was it overheating? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mouth is freaking
Damn,
dry.
Batteries are kind of sensitive on those too.
You have a screwdriver by chance?
Yes. Which?
Electrician, of course you do.
Yeah, but I brought my.
Shit, I didn't realize how